kids, welcome to art class. I'm Mrs. McMahon, or some of you call me Mrs. Muffin, or even Mrs. M. That's okay too. If you don't know why I'm Mrs. Muffin, then you should check out my video, The Legend of Muffin Cat. He's here with us in art class too. He'll always be right behind me whenever you watch these videos, and even sometimes we'll include him in the lesson too. So, this year I want to talk about my expectations for art class and what it's going to look like and all of that stuff. You know how it goes. It's been a weird year. It's been long and difficult. Some of us have really enjoyed parts of it, I'm sure, but for a lot of us, it's been really tricky. School isn't normal. Maybe work for our parents or people in our family isn't normal. Things are kind of weird right now. But that's why art matters so much. I want you to have a place and a space where you can come and you can have some fun. Maybe forget about some of the harder things happening in life right now and take a break. This year, we're going to start out online. All of the classes in art will be videos like this. I will explain an art project to you. I might show the project down here on my desk. I might show my face and I'll hold things up and explain it. But it'll be pretty similar to a lesson that you get in the classroom, where I'm going to show you the supplies you need. I'm going to show you an example of what it might look like, and I'm going to show you how to create that. We're also going to have a little bit of an introduction, maybe read a story or talk about a subject that's the kind of the focus of our art project for that week. Now, speaking of weeks, you will get a video every other week, because the first week you'll get the video, you can watch the video, you can start the art lesson, but you might not finish it, just like in real life. So the following week during art time, you know that you can just get right back to work on that art project. And if you feel like you need the video to catch up and remember, what supplies do I need? What's my goal? What am I trying to do? You can watch that video. Another great thing about the video is you can turn the speed up, you can skip ahead if you need to. Maybe you've already watched it and you just want a refresher. You can do all of that with a video. You can't do that in real life. If you try and speed me up, it won't work so great. So that first week, you'll watch the video, you'll see how to do it, you'll start it, and then that second week, you're going to go right back in and finish that art project. Now, some of you might be saying, well, what if I don't finish in those 2 art class sessions? That's a-okay. With at-home learning, you have a little bit more flexibility. If you work on your art and then you work on it that following week and you're still like, I'm not done, I'm not ready to move on, that's where you're going to have to problem solve. You're going to have to think, when do I have a little bit of extra time? Maybe after school, maybe on the weekends, maybe at night. Art should be fun. You should enjoy it. So hopefully you'll be able to find the time to finish that. I definitely want you to finish your art projects, and I want you to share them with me. You can email them to me. My email's on my dashboard and on my Canvas page. Or you can send your art to your teacher and show it to them. And then I'm going to pop in on some of your class meetings and I'll say, hey, show me some of your art. And hopefully some of you will have some art to show me. And eventually we'll make some sort of online gallery of our art. What if you finish early? A lot of you do that. It's okay. Art is one of those things that comes in all shapes and sizes, and it takes everybody different amounts of time to finish an art project. Some of you might finish that first week, and then the second week you're kind of left going, what do I do? Some of you might take a little longer, like we talked about, and need to find some time after school to finish your project. That's okay. Everybody goes at different speeds. If you finish early, I want you to problem solve and think, what could I work on? In art class, in our school, it's the same thing. You could do a free draw. Maybe you have some other craft project or art project you want to work on. Maybe you could go on YouTube with the help of a parent and look up some how-to draw videos. You can check out my YouTube channel, which I will make sure to have lots of videos that show how to do different projects or how to draw that are good for you to use. If you finish early, feel free to use any of that. You could also maybe finish that math you didn't finish earlier this morning. Or maybe you'll pull out your favorite book and take an extra 15 minutes or however much time you have and do some reading. I'm even okay if you are like, I just need a break. I've been doing math all morning. I'm exhausted. I just need a break. And you want to take a break and do some stretches, do some breathing, just like become zen. That's totally okay with me. That's what's great about this online learning, is we have a little more flexibility for things like that. If you were in my classroom and you said, can I run around and scream? I'd probably say no. And whoever's at home with you might also say no. So maybe don't scream. But if you need to do a little bit of jogging or walk around the house, just get the blood flowing, that's a-okay. Just problem solve, be smart, ask permission if it's something you're not sure about, but figure out, what can I do if I finish early? Let's talk a little bit about supplies. Hopefully, most of you are going to have at least pencils, crayons. You might have color pencils. Hopefully you'll have some watercolor paint. And if you don't have it now, you'll get it soon. But not everybody's going to have all of those supplies, and I understand that. When I do these online art projects, I'm going to try my best to use supplies that I think most students will have at home. But what do you do if you don't have that supply? What if I'm making my example and I use watercolor paints and you don't have watercolor paints at home? Does that mean you give up and don't do art? No. That means, again, we problem solve. If I can't use paint, could I use crayons? Could I use marker? Maybe there's something else in my house I could use. Should I go and take my sister's nail polish without asking and paint a big painting with it? No. Make sure we're asking permission to use art supplies that aren't in our art kit. If you were given those art supplies from school and they're in your backpack, go ahead, use them for art. But if it's some other supply in the house that isn't yours, make sure you ask permission. Please, I don't want any emails from parents or grandmas or whoever saying, so-and-so used my nail polish for a painting. Please don't do it without permission, okay? Now, that being said, you need to take care of your supplies. Normally in school, if you run out of something like, oh no, I don't have any more red crayons, what do? You come to Mrs. McMahon and you can say, I need more red crayons, and I get them out of the cupboard and I give them to you. Is that going to work at home? No. You need to be really careful with your supplies. Your teacher has given you some supplies from school, and those need to last you. I don't know how long they need to last you, but I know that if you take your paints, if you have them, and you pour water on them and ruin them on the first day, is somebody going to bring you new paints? Probably not. Some of you might have someone that can go buy you other art supplies, but for most of us, that's it. Those are our supplies, so we need to be really careful with them, okay? If you get clay from a teacher, please save that. I know it's exciting and I know it's super fun to play with. And that's part of why we tried to get that for some students. I want you to try and hold out on using that clay until we get to a lesson plan where there's clay. If we get to that lesson plan and I say, okay, everybody sculpt this thing, and you don't have your clay, your teacher can't bring you new clay. You need to use your supplies wisely, okay? Now, on the other hand, if you have your school supplies and your little sister, she comes along and she flushes them down the toilet or something, should you just give up and say you don't get to do art the rest of the year? No. Email your teacher. Reach out to me. We'll try our best to help you get new supplies, okay? I don't want to leave you hanging. We've talked a lot about rules and different things like that and attitude and don't give up. But you know what's the most important thing I want you to remember this year? Have fun. Like I said earlier, things seem a little crazy in the world right now, and sometimes it's really overwhelming, and it's hard that we can't go back to school. I want you to use art for your fun time. I want you to enjoy it. There's no one else watching. There's no one else judging you. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to do an art project and hate it. That's okay. Sometimes I do a drawing or a painting and I don't like it. That's okay. That's what math, art, science, all of it is. We fail, we don't like what we create, and we learn a lesson and we move on and make something we do like. It's not the end of the world if you create something you dislike. And what's nice about online learning is that hopefully there are less people watching you and saying, oh, I don't like that. Why'd you do it that way? Hopefully you're just sitting there and saying, I'm doing my best. I'm problem solving. That's what we want. I want you to have fun. When you're getting ready for your art lesson, make sure you can hear me, but get some great music. You get to be the DJ. You get to choose what you're listening to on your headphones. You get to kind of set up your area and make it comfortable for you. You don't have to worry about somebody in your class bumping elbows with you. Make this an enjoyable experience. Really have fun. That's my biggest desire for you all this year. Have fun, make art, use it as a tool to feel better about the world around us. Use it as a tool to say what you feel about the world around us. If you have any questions, if I missed anything at all, please remember you can email me. You can talk to me on Canvas. And you can check out my YouTube page if you want to see more videos from other creators who are giving you ideas for how to draw or how to create something. Lots of resources there. I miss you all. I can't wait to see you again. But for now, let's make the most of this.